Rajan, if you can hear me, thank you so much for talking to ET Now. If you can take us through what this opportunity really means for Wipro, Design It. It's not very significant in terms of scale, but what capabilities does it bring to the table?
Yep, thank you. Thanks for having me here. It is significant even in terms of scale in the design community, but I can talk about that a little later. But to answer your first question, we are really betting on the fact that we believe design and technology is getting and coming together. We've seen the trend where we see a huge convergence in the agenda what a CMO carries, Chief Experience Officer or a Chief Digital Officer carries, and what the CIO implements. Let me sort of explain that a little bit more. Traditionally, a CMO decided what experience to the consumer should look like. They decided how a product should be served or consumed. But because of prevalence of mobile and digital, all those experiences are now being digitally transferred to the customers. A CIO who was earlier responsible for implementing that mandate is also now getting closer and closer to the CMO office. So we believe that the provider who can sit at the intersection of CMO's agenda as well as CIO's agenda will really win in this market of tomorrow. And that's what we are betting on, because we believe for us to address that CMO agenda or a Chief Experience Officer agenda, we really need capability in strategic design. And when I say strategic design, it's really top end of the design continuum. I'm not talking about, traditional UX and UI, but really ability to design experiences for end customer, to design what that service should look like and what the new business model should look like. That's how and where this company starts their discussions.
Right. Rajan, I noticed that this also has an earn-out component in the sense that it's payable over a period of 3 years, contingent on performance. Take us through that, and is this acquisition also earnings accretive?
Because we are in the silent period, I cannot talk about the earnings specifically, but I can definitely talk about how the construct of this earnout is. So there is a 3-year payout component of payout is linked to a 3-year performance, and that is why the actual payout could range from 70% to 105% of the amount, 85 billion euro.
Rajan, one final question in terms of the approach the top 3 companies are taking towards digital. We saw TCS today talking about a massive training exercise, 1 lakh engineers. Infosys has also been talking about design thinking workshops. Will Wipro's strategy be more inorganic, wherein you make a series of tuck-under acquisitions, acquire capabilities, or will it involve a combination of training your engineers and acquisitions? Give us some perspective on this going forward.
So our belief is that the digital DNA today is very, very different. It is great to train 150,000 people in design thinking, which is very good. It is good to put together 2 or 3 service lines and call them digital, but that is not what is serving customers' purpose. We do not believe that tools of yesterday can win the battle of tomorrow. As design and IT converge, you really need to, one, understand the strategic design process. You have to have seat at the table where CMOs are making these decisions. But more importantly, the methods in which you will deliver these services are going to be very, very different. It will be all about co-innovation, co-location, co-creation, delivered in agile pods. So the business has to be really about velocity and less about certainty. And that is why Wipro Digital has been created in the way that it has been created, so that we can provide that velocity that a digital business requires. And we have all the capabilities that the traditional Wipro has that we can still leverage.
Rajan, let me take 2 more minutes of your time to really understand this better. Can you tell us in which verticals you are really seeing the opportunity in terms of digital, and also the length of these engagements? Have you seen it increasing in the last few quarters?
Yeah, so we are seeing demand across the board, but obviously certain businesses have higher spend in digital space. Financial services is certainly one of them. Retail and CPG is seeing huge spend. Media telecom is highly, highly digitized. And healthcare is now seeing increased traction. And with IoT space, I would say even manufacturing and E&U is not far behind. So it is across the board, but the first 4 business units obviously have higher spend. The second question is quite interesting. So we are today doing different types of engagements. We are engaging with clients in very strategic but short 6 to 8 weeks assignments of designing their digital strategies. That's how we start. To medium-term engagements where we are putting together digital pods for our customers and co-creating very specific around very specific problem areas that they have identified. To real long-term engagements where we have got 5-year deals to manage a channels platform for our customer, where we are managing the whole platform but also have 2 to 3 digital pods dedicated to them to do the innovation around the platform at the edge. So the engagement could be in these 3 different scenarios.
Also, in terms of the size of these deals, has that also been increasing gradually? Is it because a section of people are still skeptical? They say, over 90% is still going to be repeat business for IT companies. But the digital opportunity in terms of scale, are you seeing some improvements in that as well in terms of the size of the deals that are coming to the table?
So the way Wipro Digital is constructed, because we want to really address that business which is traditionally sitting outside the CIO's office, I wouldn't say it is necessarily repeat business. It is business that most of the traditional IT services firm cannot address. But I do agree that it is, most of the time, the value is not huge initially. But once they get hooked on to your innovative methods and frameworks and they get comfortable, you have the ability to not only do the innovation and the work at the systems of interaction, but sell a full end-to-end deal where you can also then manage the systems of record. In some cases, those are done separately, but you do have the opportunity to manage a full deal as well.
Rajan, thank you so much for talking live and exclusively to ET Now on a day when you have done this significant acquisition for Wipro.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.